Hi, Cat Chat community. My name is Ellie, and I'm a fourth-year ARCE major, and today I'm going to be interviewing Katie and Michelle. Katie and Michelle, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Michelle McCovey-Good with Taylor & Siphon Consulting Engineers.
And I'm Katie Mayer, and I'm also at Taylor & Siphon Consulting Engineers.
Awesome. Do you guys want to tell me a little bit about your Cal Poly experience?
You go ahead, Katie. Yours is more, so I'll go into mine next.
Okay. Yeah, I finished up at Cal Poly in March 2018, and a little over 4 years there. So I was ARCE the whole time. I loved being ARCE. I loved the community, and I made some of my best friends there. Just a lot of fantastic memories, learned a ton, and learned even more in the field, or I guess in practice.
Yeah, so I graduated in 1998. I originally entered as an architecture major, but switched over to structural archae soon after, just because I was really more math and science oriented than I was artistic and able to draw, but I still really appreciate good design. So, and I had an amazing experience. Obviously I switched majors, which, not a lot of people can easily do at Cal Poly. So it took a little extra time, but I had some great internships, and I really loved my professors. Professors in the ARCE department when I was there, they were amazing. They're still amazing. We do a lot of work with some of the professors there, and we still maintain close ties with a lot of the employees at the firm with the ARCE professors now. And the learn by doing is just really, cannot emphasize enough. I know it kind of sounds cliche sometimes to hear that when you talk about Cal Poly, but it is our strength, and our department does that really well.
Awesome. Do you guys want to share a little bit about after you graduated? So when you were about to graduate, were you really set on the ARCE field of structural engineering, what you wanted to do, or kind of how did your career path evolve from then?
You can go first, Michelle.
Okay, I was set on doing ARCE. Yeah, I definitely thought that's what I want to do. I want to go into engineering. I graduated when it was a little bit of a recession, so there wasn't a lot of work out there. And I was certain that I was going to have to move to LA or San Francisco. And I got really lucky, and a position opened up at a very small firm on the Central Coast, and applied, got the job, and have been able to stay there for the last 21 and a half years.
I did my kind of debate of ARC or ARCE before I went to Cal Poly, because I did a program over the summer there before my senior year. But yeah, when I graduated, I was like, yes, ARCE, engineering, this is great. And I had gotten to intern with Taylor & Siphon for 2 summers. And then they liked me and I liked them. So I got a full-time position and started right after graduation, and have been there just over 2 years. So it was 2 years like last week.
Ask, what kind of projects do you guys work on, and what are your favorite kinds of projects, and what kind of projects does your company focus on?
You'd be better at that.
Okay, I'll take that. So the majority of our work is high-end residential or residential. I'd say that's probably 50% of our work is residential. A lot of it in coastal communities, the hills and wineries and things, wine country areas. So that's the largest portion of our work. We also do some military projects on just doing maintenance on bases throughout California. We've done solar work. We have a niche market where we do bleacher work, which Katie is heavily involved in. It's commercial, essentially a mixed use, commercial, some hospitality, a lot of tenant improvement work for national restaurant chains. So we try to stay diverse so that if any one market kind of dips, then we have other markets to build off of. So we always say the only 2 things we don't do really are high rises and parking structures. So everything else is fair game. So we'll do 5 multifamily levels above 2 levels of subterranean parking basements. We'll do deck additions in Cambria and Cayucas, remodels for large houses, remodels for small houses. So yeah, a lot of that.
So as Michelle said, I've been working a lot on bleachers, which I was like, wait, hold up. These things need to be engineered, and yeah, they definitely need to be engineered, and they're a lot more complicated than I thought, but I've really enjoyed working on that. Kind of finally gotten to, hone my skills and my engineering judgment in that type of aspect, and working a lot in steel, which is not something that I anticipated working more with timber, but I mean, I learned a lot, but yeah, that you get to experience with DSA, which is a lot of fun. Challenge, but it's fun. And also I've been working on, I have quite a few remodels going on, and a full rebuild in Paradise, which is actually cool to get to be part of that rebuild up there.
What kind of advice did you have for students that are preparing to go into the professional practice?
Oh, I get to go?
Yeah. Let's see what you were saying.
I guess soak up as much information as you can while you're still in school. It kind of sounds weird, but keep your notes and keep your textbooks. I just recently, last week, found a textbook I thought I lost. So I was very excited to find that again. And I didn't think I'd ever be so excited about finding a textbook.
Yeah, so I have a couple pieces of advice. One is a personal one, and that is that if you do not get a chance to do a study abroad or some kind of exchange or some kind of internship, I highly recommend doing one of those. I was able to do an internship in Washington, D.C. for 6 months prior to graduating with the Smithsonian, which was amazing. And so I never got to study abroad, but I did do East Coast, but I would highly recommend that one if you don't get a chance to do that at some point in your college career, because then you have, a spouse and a mortgage and all of that. So take advantage of that while you can. And then secondly, for ARCE specifically, for getting your professional engineer's license, please bone up on your surveying. It's not fun. It's not interesting. You'll never have to do it, but know it so you can pass your exam. And because that has been the bane of many ARCE students coming into the firm and going and taking that exam, getting their PE, is that surveying exam. So know that as best as you can. And
take those textbooks as well.
I love the tip about the textbooks because, I used mine for years and years. I mean, I don't get to do as much engineering anymore, but for years and years, I used mine with design.
So I know sustainability is a huge buzzword in the industry right now, and obviously climate change is important, and we need to look forward to that. What are some ways that you guys deal with sustainability and resiliency on day-to-day design, or how do you incorporate that into a project?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And so I would say that our biggest role in sustainable design is really engineering each project specifically for the project site and for the requirements of that site. There is a lot of profitability in just throwing out a solution that will work, but may not be the most efficient solution, but it'll save you time and therefore increase your profit margin. We're not that kind of firm. We really believe in engineering every project based on their latitude and longitude on the planet, for foundation design, for seismic design, for wind design, so that we can make it as efficient as possible in the structural system, meaning we're not calling out beams that are oversized for no reason. We're not using more natural resources or materials than we have to. So I would say that's our biggest contribution. And for CAED, in the bleacher department especially, I mean, what, Katie, every ounce of steel the client is scrutinizing?
Yeah, if you can slim down that W12 by 16 stringers to W12 by 14s, you're going to slim them down if it still works for deflection. So I guess you're also dealing with a lot of them, but yeah, we're definitely where we can slim things down, where we can be smart with our materials. We definitely try and do that.
So can you tell me a little bit about your career path as far as, did you get a master's and when you got your PE licenses? And I know a lot of companies are moving towards requiring a master's because performance-based design is getting so evolved, and the technology is just moving to a point where you need that understanding. So what are your thoughts about needing a master's degree and about getting licensed with your PE license or your SE license?
Yeah. So I was going to say, for me, I'll start. So I received my PE. I did not get my master's. I have my bachelor's in ARCE. And then I received my PE after having to take that surveying test more than once that I mentioned earlier. That was a tough one. So master's, for what we do and for the size that we are, and for who we hire, which are Cal Poly graduates predominantly, Having a master's degree is fine, but we feel like for what we do and for what we need, the technical expertise and learn by doing, a bachelor's degree is just as good. And we want to bring you in. You already have a step up on a lot of the other graduates from other universities. So Cal Poly grad with the bachelor's is fantastic. Oh, and then to your question about the SE, yeah, definitely go for your SE. I mean, it's only really needed for school work, hospital work, OSHPCOD work, and I think maybe high rises. But if that's what you want to do, then those are the areas. It just makes you more marketable and able to work on a larger variety of projects. Also, you get to charge higher fees for your services, so that's a perk.
I just wanted to thank you for coming out and for doing this for me and for all the CAD students.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ellie. It's been a pleasure. We appreciate you asking us to participate. It's really exciting to help out, and I think like I can't say it enough, the CAED students, the Cal Poly students in general are just amazing, and we are very proud of our alma mater and love to hire from Cal Poly. So keep up the good work, and thanks so much.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you and getting to see what you guys are still doing on campus or off campus.
Right. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.